Prepare the royal jet. We are going back to America.
Oh, hell no, Your Majesty.
First of all, I know it took us 3 decades, but thank you for making this movie. It's just like I feel like a gift that we all needed after everything. But I have to talk to you, Eddie and Arsenio, just the cultural like impact of this movie, like across the diaspora. You have everyone from Beyonce dressing up like the characters from Coming to America. You got Lupita Nyong'o throwing birthday parties. I'm just curious what it's like to be a part of something like for a lot of Black people feels inherent in the sort of like Black experience. And Arsenio, I'll start with you.
It's incredible. I called Eddie one day and said, yo, I'm on La Brea in front of Fat Sal's. They've decorated the building for Halloween as McDowell's, and there's a line around the block for a sexual chocolate shake. The movie wouldn't go away. The culture just kept it around. And we didn't plan on this. We always thought there would never be a Coming to America sequel. And one day while I'm getting coffee, Eddie texts me and says, I got a script I think you should read for Coming to America. And
the rest is history.
But the process was about a 5-year process from the time I got the idea to when we got the writers together and got the script. We worked on the script for, it might have been 5 or 6 different versions of the script, but it took about 4 or 5 years, and we never, ever thought that we'd be doing it. It kind of happened, like you said, because the movie became part of the culture, and they have these parties, and VH1 showed it 24 hours straight.
Yeah, my mother would not let me watch R-rated movies except for yours. Eddie Murphy movies got a pass.
Coming to America should not be an R-rated movie. There's only one thing in the movie where the woman comes, if the royal penis is clean, and when I go, fuck you, and fuck you. And other than that, it's total. Now, this movie has nothing like this movie, had all Black cast. There's no profanity. There's no, it's not about civil unrest or social injustice. There's no drama. There's nobody looking to the camera screaming, wake up! There's none of that stuff. It's a modern day fairy tale. That's about family and love and tradition and doing the right thing. And I'm
glad you said the family part of it, because this movie has so much heart. People are going to be completely disarmed by just how much it makes you want to like hug your uncle, hug your auntie, hug everybody in your family. And I'm just curious though, for y'all, like coming back with the family, you got to sign up for the makeup again. Have they made it to where you're in the chair a shorter amount of time, or were you like, I didn't want to do this? I'll start with you, Arsenio.
It's not a shorter amount of time, but some of the chemicals are less abrasive now. They have a better glue removal process, but you still wake up the next day with little brown boogers all over your bed because that stuff never totally comes off.
What about you, Eddie? Did you find it better this time? You've been doing it pretty consistently, let's be honest.
And it's not any easier to do it. It's still a 5 or 6 hour process doing those makeups. And there was one time on this movie where I actually saw Arsenio cry. He cried for real at the end, because it took 2 hours to take off that makeup as Baba, the witch doctor. And one night it was like 4:30 in the morning, and everybody was leaving for the day, and Arsenio was still in the makeup chair, and he had a tissue, and he said his eye was watering from it was like he was crying.
Oh, I feel your pain, sir. After a long day, you just want to go home, and like I feel that experience.
He tried to play it off. He was like, "It's the contact lenses." He's crying, bro. But it really is a hard work doing this.
Raise it higher.
This is such a funny and incredible movie. You guys should be so proud. But the general, let's just say he's giving it to Akeem. You're kind of taking him to task for most of this movie.
Well, because Nextdorians are more manly than the ones in Zamunda, and it's unfortunate for Zamundians. They should become more Nextdorian. The more Nextdorian blood they have, the more manly and the more powerful they will be. Yeah. So it's for the charity of the benefit of Zamunda. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so the whole premise of it is that your country is very much trying to negotiate with Zamunda via marriage, and it goes one way or the other. But I have to say, like, this character, you've done some amazing characters, obviously, with Blade, and there's been so many ones where they're just iconic, but the hair of the general, that's like a whole thing. Talk about, because I know you guys wanted it to be very animal inspired, correct?
Yes, yes. You know, like the ridgeback, like Rhodesian ridgeback, or you see some of the animals in Africa that have ridges that run across their head. Yeah, because they are tough, like the alligator or the crocodile. Yeah.
I mean, and you make an entrance in the first part of the
it's
movie.
Hard for anybody to repeat on the outside. See, that's important too. All the copycats out there, it's gonna be hard. You have to figure out how we did that one.
This is true because I've already heard people saying how the new costumes from this one are going to be like this year's hot Halloween one. I guess they better get started now figuring out how to do that hair. But it wasn't just...
It's going to take you that long, too. From now to Halloween, October, to get it right.
Well, this... Not even the hair, that's its own project, but the clothes that Ruthie Carter did. Just because you were spending a lot of it in like what we'd say like military attire, she swagged y'all out too. Like there was some real flyness to the whole General's vibe.
Next Doria is turned up. Next Doria knows how to turn it up. Yeah, we turned it up. Military style.
I'm with that. And actually, I want to ask you this just real quick because there's a very big difference between Zamunda and Nextdoria. But I'm just curious, what is the like bop in Nextdoria? Like, who are they listening to? Like, because I know you're a very big music aficionado.
Yeah. Well, you know that Nextdoria, we play Filet Kutas, and then we play, you know, James Brown, and we play Parliament Funkadelic, and P. Diddy, and Puff Daddy, and Biggie Smalls. Yeah. We always play Biggie Smalls, yeah.
They're in New York.
We got it. Yeah.
They're still New York, which I think is such a huge part of this movie. The other thing I want to talk about is, again, just like how this movie has transcended things. It means so much to people. I've, told people I was doing this and they were just like so jealous just because I was going to get to see it. Wow. And they're very anxiously waiting March 5th. But I'm just curious, what was the experience for you? Because you were already a working actor in Hollywood at that time. So like it was different for you. This was part of your community doing something really big.
This film or the first?
The first one. Yeah, just the first one. Like your relationship to it being in Hollywood. Yeah.
I wanted to be in that movie. And a lot of my acting classmates and my dance classmates and street dancing, they were all in the movie. I was so jealous and wanted to be in that movie. Man. And actually my minor in college was African diasporic studies. So the liberal arts was one focus, but all of my out of primary school focus was African studies. So for me, I was Mr. Africa.
Yeah.
How could I not be in the movie?
And let's just say it, I know that you were one of the driving forces of like when they were very first talking about doing a Black Panther movie like way back in '96. And I think that's one of the reasons why we got you in Blade, right? Was because you were going to bring that. I want to think about you in Black Panther. I'm just always going to like visualize that.
Right on. Yeah, I would do that quick. I would do that. Yeah, just because, it was what they've done with it, and wonderfully is a reflection of our vision at the time. We didn't have the tools, even the mindset, the cultural mindset, as far as the white community was concerned, everything that associated with Black Panthers had to do with revolutionaries and guns, but now and what they've accomplished and the tools that are available, oh man.
Absolutely incredible. Just to think about you maybe popping up in Black Panther 2. I'm just saying, Kevin Feige, Ryan.
I don't care. I can do Western, I can do Irish, I can do Spanish, I can be a Colombian, I can be Puerto Rican. What you need, man? What you need, man?
I love it. Put it across the diaspora. I love this idea.
Colombian,
Yes. I definitely want to talk to you about the filming because you guys got to have basically the biggest and best Black party I've ever seen. Like the finale of the movie is incredible and everybody is there. So I just want you to tell us what it was like for you that night. Because I mean, like, not to spoil anything, but there's some big names that show up in that big party.
So fun, so joyful. And, you know, even though we knew each other, some of us outside of the business or outside of work, we had never worked with each other. So the added gift of being on the job at the same time with friends, people you admire, super talented people, and it's being preserved for eternity. Oh man, it's awesome. Get to wear all these crazy, beautiful costumes and stuff. What?
That's it. That's right. There you go. Let me hear you say, hey, ho.
Hey ho!
No, don't do that. That's his mother.
Oh, don't you say that.
No, not to his mother.
Tracy, so great to speak with you again.
What's up, Mom? What's up?
Listen,
how you feeling, girl?
I'm feeling all right to talk to you about this movie, honestly.
Yeah, man. You've been waiting a long time, Jay. You've been waiting a long time like me. Come on. Come on.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like the question, what makes you sign up? Have a chance to have a movie with your friends?
Did you like it?
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. And that's what I want to know, though. Like, is it playing with Eddie that makes you like, I got to come back? Or the fact that this is just coming to America and this is like the blackest movie on the planet?
It's a fairy tale for us. It's a fairy tale for us. And when I was working with Eddie on that set, it was a fairy tale for me to share screen time with one of my comedic heroes. So then I had to snap out of it and go to work. And I was his son's uncle.
Playing a great uncle too, the funny uncle.
And my job with my nephew was to let my nephew know, never forget where you come from. That's why he had to come back to Queens to get me, because he knew I was the only one that could bring him back. Stay who you are.
I live it.
All the way through it. And
that's New York thing.
I wanted to be known. I raised that boy. And if they don't think you good enough in Zamunda, then lay the form.
Tell him.
But he's just like his father.
Yeah.
He's just like his father.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to ask you about too, is that this sister. Yeah, that's your sister, but this movie is really New York. Like, that's the other thing about coming to America. There's just this entire like New York vibe from it, and having like you and Eddie and legends from that New York. I'm sure that was a special moment as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, everyone, not just Eddie and Arsenio, but everyone, Leslie and Jermaine and all of those, everyone involved, Wesley, everyone. It was just an honor to be there and to be, you know, when I was there, I'm standing in front of Mount Rushmore, looking at Mount Rushmore. Imagine a little human being standing in front of this mountain.
I mean, that's the other thing with comedians. Y'all are all part of this like brotherhood where you all have gone through the same thing. You and Eddie being SNL, you know, such like great representation on that show. But this may be the first time where we've gotten so many of them together. I mean, was that even
the movie,
difficult?
Though, it's not all slapstick and it's not all funny. It has a heart. All of Eddie movies have heart. That's like Bustin' Loose with Cicely Tyson and Richard Pryor. It had a heart. When you look at The Last OG, it has a heart.
Absolutely. I was gonna say that was the first time I got to talk to you was for The Last OG. And this, it feels very similar in that, because again, you bring in the best people. But let me just ask you though, the costumes. Y'all got Ruthie Carter on this one. Like, I'm guessing there's something you wanted to cop, right? You wanted to take it home?
She is Ruth, to meet her, to take pictures with her, to share oxygen with her. I love that woman. I love that lady. She's the OG. She's the Yoda. She's the Obi-Wan Kenobi in the universe of that.
Anything you wanted to steal from somebody else's costume or from one of yours?
No. I didn't want to steal that, just being a part of the movie.
I would have stole it, me personally. I'm sorry. They would have had to lock it down. There's no way I'm not walking out with something.
I have the script. I have the original script that I was given, and that's enough for me.
Oh, that's so great. The original script for the original?
Yeah, the original.
Oh, that is so incredible. All right. So another thing with you guys, you're right. It's not all slapstick. There's heart. There's a lot of family in this. Like this feels like that. And so I was just curious, Which one of y'all is the one that breaks first, though? Because y'all are ad-libbing and cracking jokes, and at a certain point, the
fun, but we also knew we had to get through this movie because there was so many people on set. It was thousands on set. So we all had the discipline and professionalism to know we would have fun, but we had to, there's a director there with all those people there. And if we didn't get through it, it would just be totally unprofessional. And, this is Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
You don't keep goofing around and stuff like that. So
a little bit of goofy though. Like you and Leslie, y'all together.
Yeah, tons of fun.
Yeah,
it was tons of fun.
You said, you're staring out at Route Mushmore. There must be, and this was a shoot where, there was so many legends coming through, but is there one day or one particular moment that's like, you know what, you're going to hold it in your heart from Coming to America? Like one day where you're just like, this is nuts.
Yeah. The day Eddie asked me to be in it.
That was the day. Tell me what he did. He called you up, said, let's do it.
Well, let's do it. I'm in. And it was that quick.
I guess for my last question for this one, talk about Jermaine, man, because you're right. You basically had to make him your son in this. So talk about you guys sort of doing that together.
Funniest, fastest people. He's a talent and I loved him. And right away, we knew our connection. He knew I was his uncle and he was my nephew. And I already right away, I knew he had that spirit, but he was going to do what he wanted to do. You see that in the opening scene with me and him.
Yep, it's from there.
Our relationship is established right then and there.
I don't need no handout.
Wait a minute.
All right, I'm gonna pack. Okay, baby.
First of all, congratulations to both of you for the film. It's hysterical. And I'm guessing probably one of the greatest calls when Eddie Murphy says, yeah, we're going to, basically take the #1 movie in the Black experience and redo the sequel and you get to come along. So Jermaine, talk about that call.
Goddamn, Jackie. Man. Throw me through. Yo, thank you. But it's honestly, it's an honor. It's an honor. Eddie's my idol. Plain and simple, my idol, my hero. So to get that call was very validating. I've been doing this 15 years. So to get that call felt like, man, I'm doing something right. And he likes my comedy and he likes me as an actor. It meant a lot. He's the reason why I'm here and the reason why I get to do what I do. So he's opened so many doors for me and actors like me. So it's truly just a blessing. And I'm enjoying the ride.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great ride to be on. And on Zamo, I don't know, it's not obviously Jermaine with the comedian, but anybody, if they called me up to be an extra, I'd be like, yes, please.
That's the vibe every extra had on that set. They were sneaking pictures of Eddie. They were really it was like, y'all on the same movie. Y'all, it'll be evidence later. Y'all don't need you're making a movie. You don't need a picture. What are you doing?
No, we needed that picture.
Yeah.
IG. I'm living history, but Gonzalo, go ahead.
I mean, I was in South Africa back home when I got the call and I could not believe it. I mean, I definitely cried. I will not front and act fresh here. Okay, I was like, but also just what a beautiful full circle moment it is for me because it is my personal Coming to America story. It's my first breakout role and it happens to be in Coming to America. So it really is going to be fun premiering this film to the rest of the world. And obviously we better be certified fresh.
Hey, look, listen, in my heart, you are, but I have no control over it. As I tell people, I just get to be the mouthpiece that tells everyone to see it because this is the thing. It doesn't matter what the score is. I saw it. People are going to get to see it. And for so many of us, that's a huge part of it because they just wanted this movie to happen for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
And I'm curious for you is from the South African perspective, because this was Wakanda before Black Panther. And there's just something aspirational and great about that presentation. I'm just curious how that resonated with you when you first saw it.
I mean, I love that you take that reference because, it really was the first imagination of what African luxury and crazy rich Africans would look, you know what I mean? So for me, it's all about family. It's about the pursuit of identity. It's about purpose. It's about leaving behind what you know and going forth to the unknown, and embracing that. But I think one of the most important central themes as well is the female empowerment, which is really, really, really fantastic. And I think all the females that were given those kinds of arcs truly carried those stories. And a lot of women everywhere around the world, including the African continent, will watch, feel seen, feel heard, and feel represented. For me, being in this character and playing a traditional Zamundan woman is so fantastic and so awesome, because I knew that there were certain nuances that I would introduce from the continent that, only an African woman could be able to kind of, truly embody. And I really, really wanted to tell this story. And it's such an honor, honestly. It really, really is.
Yeah, I mean, and look at it. It's dripping with African, like the entire Black experience across the diaspora, but particularly African culture. And that comes very much courtesy of Ruthie Carter's costumes, y'all. Let's talk about it. I asked everyone this, and no one has said this, but like, are you saying none of y'all wanted to cop like a bracelet? Was there an outfit that you were trying to like ask Ruthie, please let me take this one home? Or were you like, no?
Girl, look at my hands right now. Now imagine this times 10. That is Plata. So I wanted every piece of jewelry. She knows it. I was like, this crowd, who's the designer, Ruth? Please help, But I was just saying that, that woman is an encyclopedia. She is a historian. She is way, way above even being called a costume designer. She really, really does give so much of her mind and so much care into how she portrays imagery and people just using clothes, and tells that story. So I'm really happy for her, especially now that she's getting a Hollywood Walk of Fame. She's the first woman ever, first costume designer ever to receive an award, I think.
And we're saying it was way too long for it to get there. But what about you, Jermaine? Those suits are bad. Like, let me just say, in the best way possible, in the 80s way, let me say those were bad.
I've never been more blown away by an artist's work. She's an artist, she treats us like a canvas, and we just let her do her thing. Every piece was different. It wasn't like she was repeating pieces. Every piece had a particular a pattern that was unique to the individual, like especially from the extras to Eddie. Like everybody had a thing. It was beautiful, and she took such care and patience with everything, and she deserves that Walk of Fame star. Like she definitely does. But again, she loves what she does. We talk to her. She has no ego about anything that she does. She's truly just a normal, amazing woman who just genuinely just is enthusiastic about everything that she does. And I love her energy, man. I'd love to work with her again. Out of respect, I didn't steal any clothes.
See, this is why I'm a journalist, because I know I would be fired from the second job immediately. Because I'm sorry, I'm taking it with me. For you, Jermaine, this is kind of, I think, you get Eddie Murphy and Leslie Jones as your parents, so that's amazing. But then we're adding all of these other ones. I'm just curious, who breaks the take? Who's the one that ruins the take out of all those legends? Or did literally everyone just have to button it up? I want to know who was the one that broke character the most.
There was no button it up. I would say Leslie, only because we had the most scenes together, I believe, and the most comedic ones. So there were times when one time Leslie was trying to tell me about the song called Push, Push in the Bush. And I've never heard this song before. And she's like, come on, Jermaine, you heard the song. I'm like, I've never heard Push, Push in the Bush. She starts singing it, Push, Push in the Bush. And I'm like, I never heard the song. So she's dancing and singing. And I'm like, I got to go on set. They call us on set. So we go on set and I'm doing my lines. I look up at Leslie, who's doing her lines at me off screen, and she's sweating, just dripping sweat. And I'm like, what happened? What are you? She goes, I'm sorry. I can't do. She couldn't do her lines because she was still out of breath from the push, push in the bush.
Push, push in the bush.
Yeah, and
it's what in the butt. It must be like the parody version of that.
I think so. I have no idea, but it was an '80s song or whatever, and that was just one of a million times Leslie broke me and broke herself on camera. So she was an amazing person to be around and share those moments with.
I always thought that Mika was going to be queen.
A woman isn't allowed to rule Zamunda. It's the law.
Ladies, first of all, congratulations on the film. It is incredible. And it's so great that it's coming back with a sequel, because with so many of us, we remember the first time we saw this movie. It's part of, I feel the Black American experience. But I'm just curious if you guys can tell me when you first saw it. And Bella, I'm going to start with you because I don't know, was it really early that you got to see it?
No, I mean, kind of. I was like 10 or 11 when I saw it for the first time.
And what was that emotion? Like, this is not just dad made it, but it's also like the movie.
It was awesome. That was the first time I saw Black royalty on screen. And then being able to connect to it because it's my dad. So it was even cooler. And just, it was really empowering to see at such a young age.
Kylie, go ahead.
I watched it way before I got the audition for it, so I already knew what I was getting into, and that even made me more excited. Not only if I haven't watched it, I've heard of it before, so I've seen it plenty of times, and I was so excited that I was going to be a part of the sequel, because the first movie, it's amazing, it's hilarious, I love watching it.
No, it is a movie too where everybody talks about not only how funny it was, how New York it was, how it was so aspirational to see Black royalty, but they also talk about the costumes. And this time around, y'all got Ruthie Carter, that's completely amazing. She obviously did the costumes as well for Black Panther. So just curious, did you fall in love with any of the costumes that you got to see, Bella? Was there anything you were trying to like nudge Ruthie to be like, if you want to slip this in my trailer?
Definitely. There was this dress that I was wearing, and it was a yellow dress, and from far away it looks like a bunch of flowers, but when you look close you can see that it's the designer's face, like not Ruth's face, but a designer that she collaborated with. And it was really cool. Every single time I looked at all my clothes, I found different designs, and I was like, oh, so beautiful. And we got a bird's eye shot on the yellow dress. And what was really cool about it is I was twirling and it was going out. So it looked really pretty with the bird's eye shot that we got. But I didn't take anything.
I know. It's not like you'd be able to probably get away with it. Your dad might like peep your closet and be like, wait a minute.
It looks like it's from set. It's like, no, it's not.
I mean, he is a producer on this film, so I could see him maybe taking the dad hat off to be like, hey. Kylie, what about you? Again, costumes are incredible. Was there any, either from the original or this one, that you're like, that's fashion goals?
Yeah, I have two favorites actually. I've mentioned my bubblegum dress. It had this poncho type thing over it, and I'm so weird on set. I used to like pull my hands in when I get cold, and I'd like hide my arms, and Bella would be like, "Where'd your hands go?" And I'm like, "It disappeared."
Yeah, she literally just walk around and like a gumdrop. Literally.
Oh my God, that is so, first of all, folks need to see the movie so they can put this together visually in their mind, but that is adorable. And I'm sure like the entire crew was just like awing every time you walk by, looking like that all bundled up. Bella, I have to ask you too, because again, you kind of got a bird's eye view of this movie's effect. And I'm sure it was probably you that was like telling your dad, hey, all the people from Black Panther just redid Coming to America as part of like the party that Lupita Nyong'o does for her birthday. You know, she gets all up in the costumes. So I'm just curious, like the cultural impact of it, like the fact that people are still like doing the costumes and they're doing McDowell's impersonations and like people throw parties around it. I'm just wondering what that means for you personally to see how your dad had this effect on, again, the Black culture in America.
It's really cool. I think I saw pictures of Beyonce dressed up one time and I was like, oh my God, the queen. But no, yeah, it's really cool to see the impact that he had, and very inspirational for me because, you know, he's my father. So being able to see him impact all these people, even at such a young age, definitely made me feel like I could do that too when I got older. So yeah, I'm very thankful for that, and just for him, because he's a cool dude, cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. You definitely have the like, if you're somebody's like, oh, I got a cool dad, you win. That's a mic drop every time for you. So you own it on that one.
I found out the other day.
Say this again.
He invented the mic drop the other day. I found out. I was like, okay.
It was literally like he gave birth to the thing that literally, it's a part of the vernacular. So many more things too. Kylie, I'm going to ask you about this one because There's so many comedians in this movie, and they are literally some of the legends of comedy, not just Eddie, Arsenio, Leslie, Jermaine's hysterical, Tracy's hysterical. And then so many of the cast members who are just actors are also very funny. Who was the hardest one for you to be around and keep a straight face? Like, who was the one where you're like, I really got to work hard not to giggle?
Yes. When everybody is in the same room, especially when people like Arsenio Hall, Eddie Murphy, Wesley Snipes, when they'd all be in the same room, it's hard to not explode because they're all so funny individually. Wesley Snipes, he's hilarious. So is Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. When they're all in the same room, you just see like this connection and you're trying so hard not to explode inside. You're like, stay calm, deep breaths. And when they crack a joke every time inside, I'm like, don't laugh. And when that director yells cut, I would just explode along with Bella.
I was going to say, Bella, do you feel numb to it? Because there's been comedians in and out of your sphere probably for as long as you can remember. I mean, there's such a brotherhood between comedians already. Were you practiced with not laughing, or did that actually make it worse? Because some of these people you've been seeing, again, since you were little.
Well, I feel like, I never get used to it because it's always funny to me. But I feel like, I don't know. It was hard not to break during those scenes, kind of what Kylie's saying. And it was just, it was difficult. Yeah, very funny.
Like, what did they do for an audition for you? Did they make you like impersonate your dad? Like, what did they like see if you can do the Eddie Murphy laugh? Like, is that even an audition?
That would have been so weird. No.
Can you even do it? Can you do the laugh? I doubt it, but I'm just
curious. Not even his laugh. That's not how he laughs. I think it's so funny when people do that as an impression because I'm like, that's not it, but okay. But I can't even do it. But
you're very good. You're very good.
Thank you. But they originally, I asked to be an extra on the film because I didn't think I was even going to be in the movie at all because we're not allowed to work until we're 18 in this industry specifically. So I didn't think I was going to be in it. And then, I do scenes with my dad all the time. We watch movies all the time. I was going to acting classes. I was doing my plays here and there. And I think he just saw that and was like, why don't you audition for the princess if you want? And I was like, I want to, So I went out for it and it was awesome. It was really cool.
Bring forward the royal machete.
Machete? They're gonna sharpen your tool, nephew.
Coming to America, now it's coming to me. Coming to America, now it's coming to me. I'm a king, I'm a